lovers. I'm Elise. Welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to do the newbie book tag so that all of you could get to know me a little bit. I did use some of the original newbie book tag questions, but I did also include some of my own just to kind of spice it up. I have all my questions in this little bowl here. What kind of books do I like to read? I like all different types of books. I'd say I'm a pretty eclectic reader. Most often I read thriller, horror, speculative. I also really like historical fiction. I haven't read a lot of historical fiction lately, but that is always one that I seem to enjoy when I do read it. And lately, like Victorian era stories, specifically if it's a little bit fantasy based. Who are my favorite booktubers? Oh gosh. I watch a lot of BookTube. Olivia Reads a Latte, Books and Lala, How to Train Your Gavin, Lauren Love Reads. Being put on the spot here, huh? Oh my gosh, Katie Colson, Gabby Reads. It's a book that makes me happy. Last book that made me really happy, I think, was probably Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. I read that last fall, shortly after it came out. I remember feeling so much happiness and warmth and such a pure book. I really enjoyed that. That was my first TJ Klune, so I definitely want to read another by him. I know House in the Cerulean Sea is out. I think he has some YA possibly as well, like Wolf Song or something like that. And then he has another one coming out early next year, something about puppets, I believe, but I actually already pre-ordered that one, so I'm pretty excited for it. Hardcover or paperback? I don't know if you can see here, I am a hardcover girl. They look really nice on the shelf. They're sturdy. They stand up, which is nice if you're trying to take pictures. Hardcover all the way. All right, what challenges starting a booktube will be the hardest for me to overcome? Pretty much everything. I have been thinking about joining BookTube for such a long time now, like seriously at least a year. I didn't think I would ever do it. I'm very shy, very much an introvert. I like to kind of keep to myself a little bit. So this is definitely going outside my comfort zone. So thank you all for being here and witnessing this. Aside from that, I guess the technical aspect, actually Lauren over at Lauren Love Reads, she's been so kind as to answer a lot of questions that I've had. Thank you, Lauren, for allowing me to pick your brain. What book got me into reading? There have been a couple phases in my life of reading. So when I was younger, Harry Potter, probably not a surprise, that's pretty common. Kind of fell out of reading a little bit in high school, and then my sophomore year of college, my mom actually recommended Firefly Lane by Kristen Hanna. She said that it was really good, and I was kind of having a hard go of it with college and being away from home. So I brought it down to school with me, and I read it, and I loved it, and it was amazing. I've seen the show. I like the book better, of course. They did a great job with the show, but books are usually better. I do want to reread that so that I can read the follow-up, Fly Away Home. Oh gosh, I'm sorry, Kristen. When adulthood officially started and I graduated college and I had my first real job, I wasn't reading very much. So last year when I read Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune, that was another book that I would classify as one that got me into reading. What am I currently reading? I'm so glad you asked. Angelica Frankenstein Makes Her Match by Sally Thorne. I'm actually almost done with this. It's a library book and it has to go back tomorrow, so I'll be reading this tonight. This is Victorian era. Angelica is the sister of Victor Frankenstein. They're actually both orphans in this, and they conduct experiments trying to resurrect the dead by putting various pieces of them back together, much like the well-known story of Frankenstein. Angelica puts together her perfect match. She finds this cadaver in the morgue who hadn't been there very long, and she grabbed various pieces from other cadavers and made her perfect match and was able to resurrect him. However, when he wakes up, he has complete amnesia. He doesn't remember anything from his life as a living person. All that he knows is Angelica and her brother. I'm really enjoying this. I'm fairly certain it will be a 5-star. I like to run all of my reads through Copile to get an official rating, but I have a pretty strong feeling if not a 5-star, then at least a 4.5. The other book that I'm reading is In the Company of Witches. Actually just arrived today. I've been hunting this down for a while. It is the October pick for the Cozy Hollow Book Club. I'll link that in the description if you want to check it out. It's the new book club. This is their first official read, but I don't know much about this, to be honest. I've heard rave reviews. A lot of people on BookTube and Bookstagram have already started reading it, and a lot of the reviews have been pretty high. So it's a cozy mystery. And while I was waiting for it to arrive, I actually downloaded the sample off Kindle so I could start reading it. I only got to chapter 2. The first chapter seemed pretty good. So far, there's a character, Bryn. So Bryn lives at this inn that is owned and ran by her two aunts. Hi, I'm from Michigan. I say aunt. I have someone staying at the inn who is quite difficult. She actually rented out all the rooms in the inn so that nobody would bother her. She dies. So I think this book is Bryn and her aunts trying to figure out what happened. Again, I'm not 100% sure, but there's ghosts, there's witchy stuff, so really good read for October, and I'm excited. The live show for this is actually tonight, Friday, so I'm gonna have to try to do some binge reading of this before that happens. What season is my favorite for reading? I love the last quarter of the year. Basically October 1st to December 31st, I'm in heaven. Usually I love October a lot more than I have this year, and I really get into the spirit of spooky season and Halloween and reading a bunch of thrillers and horror. I've been in a little bit of a slump this month. I mean, I've read some good books. I haven't been super enjoying my reading, which is really unfortunate. But for whatever reason this year, I'm looking forward to cozy holiday reads. Better. And the idea of reading holiday type books, having Christmas music, putting up Christmas decorations, Christmas movies. Oh my goodness. I'm very much looking forward to that this year. All right, last question. What do I not like to read? There's not a whole lot. Like I said, I'm a pretty eclectic reader. I do like to read a little bit of everything, but I'm not a huge fan of YA. That's not to say I won't read YA. But the books that I have read, I didn't care for them as much. There are certainly exceptions. For instance, Anatomy of Love Story by Dana Schwartz, I read earlier this year. Loved it. That was definitely a 5-star. 5-star. That was definitely a 5-star. I can't wait for the sequel to come out. Smutty books. I don't mind smut. I don't mind spice. However, usually I prefer it to be a very small part of the book. Very small. I definitely want to see more plot. That being said, I have read Ice Planet Barbarians, just the first one. Well, and then the novella that comes after it. And I enjoyed that. I thought it was a pretty cute read. Was it smutty? Sure. But it was actually, pretty good plot. I won't continue with the series, but it was interesting. I also don't really enjoy reading heavy, emotionally heavy books. I don't want to sit there and cry. That doesn't sound like a fun time to me. I can't do it. I have no interest in that. Okay. How did I do my first time? Thank you so much for being here. I hope that I can provide good quality content, make some friends. Please feel free to say hi down in the comments. Like and subscribe the video. I would greatly appreciate that. And until next time, bye.